We advise the opinions and views of the hosts and guests do not reflect those of the station.
You are what you watch.
Hello, my name's Harry Tambuatco and welcome to our program. Okay, current events. What exactly is happening? You've got the controversial RH bill. After 10 years of deliberations, it's coming to a hilt. From what I understand, as I am doing this show, the Congress, I had 24 hours, it has already met together with Pinoy and confirmed allegedly that there are some 200 congressmen that are going for it. Are we surprised? Gee, and I didn't think the Supreme Court Chief Justice could be impeached in just 2 hours, 3 hours without the documents being read. Either way, with consistency, it seems the RH bill may just be passed. But should we continue talking about it? Has the battle been lost? As my guest will say. He says, let's see, the devil works in all different ways. If we work hard, he works even harder. The thing is, while he may have won this particular fight, the battle will never be lost to them. Now, we're going to discuss these issues, the RH bill, of course, because this is a contention and it's going to be put on the floor as we speak. Then the other issues that are of equal importance, if you can remember right, we've got issues that just came out in the States that scandalized everybody around the world. The shooting in Colorado, was it? Wherein some 20-odd people were shot by a lone gunman. Now, we've got issues here of our own when it comes to the tandem riding motorcycle gangs or people that go around and murder people openly. So crime, basically, and guns, the issue of gun and gun control. We will also speak of the other issues. One, if I remember correctly, was participated on or supported heavily by no less than Pinoy, which is the freedom of information. Can you imagine we can now go to the barangay captains, the local mayors, the governors, and actually find out by exactly how they're spending the money appropriated to them? Do you think these very people will allow it? And of course, my pet peeve, which is dynasty, and the dynasty issue. And only to find out, I was given a document by my political party. Incidentally, the Kapatiran Party is not a party list. This is a formidable political party that has participated in the last 2 elections, if not 3, with a complete slate, and will continue to do so. Now, going back to this issue with the dynasty, no less than the Makati Business Club, from what I read, a copy that was sent to me over the weekend, promoted or is against the dynasty issues. The problem is, it just continues. And no less the president belonging to a dynastic family. Now, what do we do with local fiefdoms? What do we do with people who, oligarchs, as bad as that word sounds? Problem is the prevalence will continue, and no less the very same Congress who's voting for the RH bill will never vote to implement something that will regulate, if not restrict them and their family. Now, that's ironic. Does this mean we're bounded by chains forever? Are there other solutions? There has to be, diba? I mean, the president was able to take down the Chief Justice. Gee, you've got to be able to do it. There's a saying that laws are not necessarily created by God, and it was never written on stone and passed on to man. Man created law, especially our Constitution, as we put it together, in the likeness of our religion and our faith. Now, many may say they're no longer Roman Catholic, but either way, whether you like it or not, we are predominantly Roman Catholic in the Philippines with supposedly 97 million people. So whether you like it or not, we are Roman Catholic. Ladies and gentlemen, our show this evening will be all about those 4 issues. And with us, we have the Kapatiran Party. We have the founder, which is Nandi Pacheco, not only of the Kapatiran Party, but the man behind the gun control. We also have our Secretary General. We have Norman Cabrera, who was with us last week. Ladies and gentlemen, as you watch, I am not trying to throw all and everything to you about the Kapatiran Party, but simply because it's an effort to try and promote what I think is correct. Unless you can promote a better political party, a better platform, a complete platform with a standpoint that is consistent with my religion, and I'm assuming you too are Roman Catholic, then we will show somebody else. Gentlemen, thank you for being here. I hope you don't mind my lengthy introduction.
Wow, it's fine.
Maganda yung may konting drama yung pagpasok niyan, di ba?
Ito yun.
Nandi, anong gagawin ngayon natin? Paano ito sinasabi nila? Kasi tayo, ang posisyon natin, di ba, sa Kapatiran, hindi tayo, tutol tayo sa RH Bill, di ba? Hindi nasabi ng Santo Papa, di ba? No. Buti sana kung condoms lang yan eh. Ang problema, yung mga pills, di ba, abortive yan. Never mind the economic intrigues, di ba? Mga labi-labi, mga pharmaceuticals mapasok dyan, ano? Yung 700 million, if not more. The problem is, there is an abortive pill, which is the morning after, that's part of it. And there are parts of that law and that bill that's against. Anong gagawin ngayon natin? That 200 supposedly people, alam mo, nagawa naman ni Pino yan kay Chief Justice Corona, di ba? Nakuha niya yung mga numero ng Kongreso eh. Ano po ngayon ang sitwasyon dyan?
Well, I think yung mga pros and cons na pag-uusapan na.
Oh, 10 taon na po eh.
Yes. Maliwanag. Ang dapat lang nating isipin ito, our problems are not God-given.
They're man-made.
They're man-made.
Agreed.
And the principal cause of this is moral. We have a moral crisis.
Correct.
Ngayon, if they're man-made, man can solve them also.
But not our current representatives. At least the current set.
Yes, the problem is there in the in the
Congress.
in the Congress, in the presidency.
Opo.
But so anong dapat gawin doon? Dapat palitan. Dapat palitan. Okay. Now, how do you change them? Through election.
So, tama yung sinasabi ng simbahan, nagbabanta ang simbahan, sige, botohin niyo yan. Sige, manalo kayo. Wala tayong magagawa. Church and state. Pero pagdating ng eleksyon, sasabihin namin ng taong bayan, huwag bobotohin ang mga bumoto dyan. Parang ganon.
No, kinakailangan ba unawaan ng tao talaga? Why are they doing it? Ito ba naayos? They have got to understand their faith. Ano ba ang kanilang faith? Yung pagtanggol mo ang buhay, nandun pala sa kinapupunan at nag-fertilize na yung egg na yan, buhay na yon.
Opo.
So, ikaw ay either naniniwala o hindi naniniwala. So, kung naniniwala ka ron, dapat panindigan mo ng gusto na dapat i-defend yun. Yun ang kinakailangan maunawaan ng tao. Yun ang isang halimbawa. Halimbawa, yung dynasty, na alam mo, masama rin.
Pero ito, ano muna tayo?
Oo.
RH muna, isa-isayin natin.
RH, okay.
Kayo, Norman, kayo. Anong base mo? Anong gagawin ngayon natin, in other words?
Well, I don't think the church leadership will ever give up on this fight. No? And even if they claim for now that they have put together some 200 congressmen to vote for the passage of the RH bill, that's only the House. No? And in the Senate,
You only have 3 that are totally against it, that have identified themselves. 3 out of 23, di ba? Out of 23.
correct. So in the Senate, I think we have a pretty good chance of
Holding it.
And well, this is an educational process that's going to go on, no? And if the church is serious in turning around the table, they will have to go through a widespread educational campaign about what's good and what's not good about the RH bill. And certainly there are two fronts that we have to attack, no, insofar as this issue is concerned. One is religious belief, no, or faith. The other is the legal aspect or constitutionality of the issue. No? Remember that our Constitution says that the state shall protect the life of the mother and the unborn from conception. But the problem we have right now is we do not yet have a jurisprudence on what conception means. No? If you will observe in congressional hearings, both in the House and the Senate, one would argue, or the pro-RH would argue, that conception starts at implantation. No?
Okay.
The anti-RH advocates would argue that no, conception begins with fertilization. So this alone is an issue that needs to be resolved. No? And in congressional hearings, you don't get resolutions. You are just allowed to express your point of view. The congressmen listen, and at the end of the day, they craft the law depending on how they would appreciate the positions presented to them. So we have to find an avenue wherein this issue can be challenged in court.
Is that issue a medical issue or is it a political issue?
There's
I'm
a
talking conception.
conception. It
the
is,
actual
well,
conception.
two
It's not
things,
med-
no? Two things, scientific or medical, and the other is
Both scientific and medical.
yeah,
Is conception the meeting of the eggs? The
yeah.
meeting the minute they meet and the minute
Yeah.
they meet and come together, it's fertilization.
Yes, yes.
Correct?
Yes.
Both medical,
exactly.
scientific, whatever.
Yes.
What could be the other misconception here?
I don't know. Perhaps there are there's that other side of science that says it's implantation. I mean, 2 points of views. But at the end of the day, also to balance these 2 points of view, you have to go back to the records of the deliberation of the Constitutional Convention members, no? Because it is very clear in that deliberation that conception, that what they meant by conception is fertilization. So it's just that these issues are not brought forth before the court or a body that is supposed to resolve that issue. So that is one thing that we should also
Randy, do you
consider.
think ang taong bayan naintindihan na itong issue sa mga RH bill? I mean, alam natin ilang taon na ito pinag-uusapan eh. Ilang kongreso na. Nakikita natin sa television, di ba? Naririnig natin sa radyo. At sa mga nagbabasa, marami naman editorial sumalabas dyan. You have not been quiet. The Kapatiran Party has espoused their position. The church has very strongly even said it during Sunday Masses, di ba? Do you think naintindihan na sa makataon na, naintindihan na kaya ang mga tao ngayon, taong bayan, ang mga issue dito?
Siguro, dapat pag-igihan pa.
Kulang pa rin.
Kulang na kulang pa. Pag-igihan pa.
Sino nagkulang? Bakit kulang pa?
For both. Ang simbahan at down sa kabababaan.
I would listen to many congressmen and I went to a number of forums. In fact, right here on this show, I had no less one of the teachers who, in the Ateneo School in Loyola, who was pro-RH and who gave her very strong points, and she was very lucid, she was very consistent, and during the show, after the show, I too was convinced. Tama yan, dapat promote natin yung RH bill. But there was an instance, para sa akin lang, personal ko, I was in a grouping, a forum by the Soroptimists, the women's group yan eh. And there was a doctor there from PGH, one of the top doctors, who explained without politics, without moral, walang morality, walang science lang. Sabi niya, siyensya lang, siyensya. Pag dumikit yung dalawang iklog ng ang lalaki at ang babae at nagsama, there is conception, there is fertilization.
There is life
It begins.
already.
Yes. Because regardless of what goes on after that, that is where it begins. So just because there is no body, there is no limb, there is no foot, there is no brain, it does not mean it has not begun. So sinasabi niya, para sa kanya, ang posisyon niya lang sa siyensya, pagdating sa morning after pill, abortive yan. Yung condom talaga wala. Hindi nagsasama. Kaya maayos yan. Yan ang posisyon niya. Now, whatever that's worth, that's when I was won over towards to be anti-RH. However, being in the party, I submit that that is the position of the party, plus the fact that Nandi put out, you either have the faith or you don't.
Yes.
Simple lang yun eh. That's what I said last week, 2 weeks ago. If you don't have the faith, kung di ka Roman Catholic, no problem. But if you're Roman Catholic and you disagree with the position of no less its leader, ang Santo Papa, am I correct?
Yeah, totoo
Then
yun.
there is something wrong. Mag-iba ka na, di ba? Mag-born again ka, marami naman dyan eh. Is,
Yeah.
or is that the wrong, is that,
Sa akin
mali
dito,
ba yun sinasabi ko?
Ang akin
pumunta sa
dito,
ibang reliyon? Mali rin yun, ano?
faithfulness.
Hindi rin masyadong tama yon. No?
Mali rin yun. Di ba pag sinabi ng leader nyo, it's like you belong to a political party but you don't adhere to the party platforms, then you should leave.
Kamukha nung sa amin sa kapatiran, meron kaming
Ito, yung libro natin, yung
platform,
passport.
yung passport in yung
Yung
Philippines.
passport.
Naroon yung prinsipyo na
Pag ayaw mo.
kinatitingkan ng partido.
Oo.
Naroon yung mga programa.
Correct.
Sabi ko,
Katulad.
25 yun.
Correct.
Kung doon sa 25, meron kang isa sa
Tutol ka sa isa, huwag ka rin sumali.
You have no right.
Ay, yun na nga.
Yun ang kailangan because there has got to be unity.
Correct.
Hindi pwede natin payagan na magkaroon ng bogey sa isang lugar. Dahil,
Yun na nga. Kung hindi ka unified.
Oo.
Magbabangga ka.
Oo.
Norman, what is wrong then for subjecting our viewers? Kanyari, you're Roman Catholic, you go to church every Sunday, you pray the rosary, you carry a Bible, nagba-Bible classes ka, pero hindi ka tutol. Approve ka sa RH bill. Anong rekomendasyon dyan?
Well, una kasi talagang dapat makilatis nating mas mabuti itong RH bill. Ano ba talaga ito? Isang paliwanag dito, yung reproductive health terminology dyan sa RH bill is just a cloak. No? Cloak lang yan para sa contraceptives.
No, agree. Those are the
diba?
arguments. But
correct.
without having to go into the arguments, this is 10 years today. Di ba? Nagbubutuhan na eh. Kung Katoliko ka, di ba?
Yeah.
You were baptized. You have become a Catholic like us.
Correct.
At hindi ka tutol. No matter if the Pope has already told us. No, as a Catholic, di ba? Against tayo dyan, abortive yan. That's against our teaching and our theory. Should these people remain Catholic or should they leave the church?
Dapat lang maliwanagan nila na sila ay nagkakasala. Sa bawat pagkakataon na gumagamit sila ng contraceptives, no, o itong produkto ng RH bill na ito, dahil
No, condom. Ako, bawal ba ang condom? Hindi naman sinabi ng simbang
hindi
bawal
naman
ba ang
sinabing
condom?
bawal ang condom. It's just a choice.
Yung abortive.
Yung abortive.
Yung abortive.
Oo, yung
Kasi,
abortive
di ba,
ang bawal.
nakakapatay yan ng buhay. That's the issue, am I right? Murder.
Exactly.
We're against murder.
Exactly.
We are pro-life.
Exactly.
We are anti-murder. Taking the pill is murder.
Yes,
Correct?
correct.
So, if a Catholic says, no, we take the pill, and I promote the RH bill, should he stay Catholic or not? Ang bigat sagutin, ano?
Ang bigat
Hindi naman
sagutin.
tayo kasi hindi naman tayo pare.
Doble kara yun eh.
Oh, may bawi eh, no?
Doble kara.
Let's go on to the next issue. Let's go to gun
Pero ang
control.
bago doon,
Sige po.
faithfulness na success.
Oo nga eh. That's faith.
Ako,
Ako,
laging tapat ka. Laging tapat ka. Otherwise, don't pretend na ikaw marunong ka pa sa Diyos.
ganun nangyayari nga dito.
Yun
Mas
ang nga,
marunong nga sa Diyos.
yun ang
Mas
precisely.
marunong nga sa... Mas
Oh.
magaling na sila sa Santo Papa.
Pero never,
Correct me if I'm wrong. di ba?
but never give up.
Ah.
Never give up.
Those who say they are for the RH bill, no more than the Pope. Correct? Nga, di ba? If you defy your leader in your religious group, I mean, this is what I grew up with. In Ateneo, yun ang tinuro sa amin eh. There is, faith is most important. If you're gonna question your faith, maraming diskusyon yan. In the end, aalis ka na rin naman. Unahan mo na para make it easier.
But reason is also aided by faith. Faith and reason.
Ilan nga
Kailangan
eh.
mo rin ng tulong ng dalawa. Yung faith aided by reason.
Tsaka
aided by
ako,
faith.
when my son and I, we argue, he's 20 years old, he's coming into he's beginning to question everything. And I support to question everything. He rationalizes why the church and everything. At that point, nahihirapan nila ako, and sometimes maybe I'm too tired to discuss it. So I just say, you either have the faith or you don't. I sent you to all the Catholic schools that I know, like where I went to, that's all I know best. And if you don't have the faith, well, maybe I've lost, and the schools have lost. We have failed, the school has failed. It's as simple as that. That's how I end it all the time, much to his frustration. Let's go to the other issue. Gun control. Where are we now?
Where are we now?
Well, sa gun control, yun nga, ginamit, we utilize this provision of Republic Act 6735 upang maipasok lamang sa Kongreso ang gun control
Kasi
bill na ito.
walang congressman na gustong isuportahan.
Correct. Oo.
Bakit ayaw nila? Kasi kailangan lahat na may barel.
Because the congressmen, these politicians, depend on guns for their survival.
So, kailangan nila ng barel.
Kailangan nilang baril.
For
So,
their survival.
ang gusto ng congressman, lahat tayo may baril din. Para magbarilan lahat.
Well, not necessarily.
Parang, kung may baril ka, dapat may baril ako. Bakit naman? Hindi ka naman pulis eh. O, diba?
Yung kanilang parading rason ng mga ila. I have to have a gun to protect myself.
Why do they have to protect themselves?
Gusto nila mabuhay eh. Kasi daroon ng baril.
Ba't ako? Wala naman akong baril. Ba't ako? Nabubuhay naman ako ah.
Yun na nga. Pero sa kanila, yun ang kanilang thinking.
Saka siguro alam nila
Maraming
marami
kaaway.
silang
Sala.
atraso sa
Atraso.
taong bayan.
At saka alam mo, una-una, sino ba may gusto niya sino ang kontra sa gun control?
Siyempre, mga gun company.
O sino ang yung mga criminals?
Criminals.
Uh,
But can we actually have a
psychopaths.
gunless society in the Philippines with all the criminality
No,
ongoing?
let's make this clear. A gunless society, lipunang walang baril, is a dream.
Yes, sir.
Isang pangarap, isang vision.
Yes, sir.
It's like undertaking a faith journey of 1,000
Well,
miles.
Singapore, Hong Kong's like that.
Yes. Ito nga sa atin muna. Faith journey to. But in every faith journey, you have to first to begin with the first single step. Kung
Regulate.
pagsakwan, mag-ano ko muna. Punta ka sa Amerika, kailangan mo ang passport. Kung kailangan mo ang visa, kailangan mo ang pera,
Proseso.
proseso.
Opo.
Ganun din sa gunless society. You can achieve that
Overnight. na
overnight kung wala ka pang yung preliminaries hindi mo gagawin. In the same manner, there can never be peace without order.
ganun. Okay.
Yung,
So, dikit-dikit na yan.
According to St. Thomas Aquinas, order, tranquility of order precedes peace. Without peace,
No order.
no order. Without order, there is no peace. Yun. Kaya yun gano'n din ang kinakailangan natin dito. So, it starts with the first single step. Ano yung first single step? Gun control. Now, how do you provide this gun control? Now, you mean you're going to deprive us with all our
Rights.
with rights, yung mga guns?
Do we have the provision in our Constitution like America, the right to bear arms? Wala, di ba?
Wala.
Sa Constitution lang ng Amerika yan eh.
Wala.
And yet, copycat tayo, we have a right. We want the right to bear arms. Parang ganon.
Ang hirap sa atin, we copy America.
Oh, totoo yan.
There are so many good things nga na dapat ganyan sa Amerika, kamukha ng candor, yung
Okay.
punctuality.
But not necessarily everything.
Not
Hindi mga
everything.
mali nila.
So, yun ang kinakailangan mo, yung unang first steps na hihanda mo. You don't make the guns available to Tom, Dick, and Harry. Nasa mga kang gun shows, tumutulo ang laway ng mga bata.
Pero di ba, mga malls, binibenta yung mga baril at ammunition. Ako nakikita ko sa mga mall.
Yes, yes.
Naka-display yung mga baril eh.
So what is
9,000, 25,000. Mapresyo din eh.
what kind of
Ang
society?
kintab, di ba?
What kind of society do we have? So we have a society that promotes violence. And who is responsible for this? It's the government. Our government promotes this. Now, go to Korea, go to sa Hong Kong, go to Macau, go to Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. This is never done. Hindi pa Christian country yan.
Oo nga, hindi.
Napakasakit talaga. Something is wrong with the Filipino mind. We are a group of hypocrites. Liwa-liwanag eh. Nangyayari siya. You don't have to go far. Your immediate neighbors. I was in Hong Kong, for instance, one time. Naghanap ako ng magawa ko sa telepono. Parang inquiry lang.
Yes.
Where can I buy a gun? Oh, no gun store here.
Galing. Gentlemen, we're going to have to take a short break. We're at the bottom of the hour. Ladies and gentlemen, the passions that are promoted in this show are real. These are not staged, and it's not for entertainment. The reality of us, we, the Filipinos, having lost our morals, our values. I have said that so many, many times, even in my writing as well as right here in this TV show. You may not like hearing it as the show goes on, but then again, you can always switch channels. You see, here is what you get. The truth is what we try to push. We have lost our morals and our values. Now, whether it's the church, the educational institutions, or what we call practice and tradition, even though it's wrong for the last 40, 50 years, does not make it right. What is wrong stays wrong. Now, hopefully, there will be some type of critical thinking as this show goes on to inspire you, to make you to aspire for something greater and better. Because after all, if I'm not mistaken, we are Catholic. We'll be right back.